What is up, Grant? Thank you so much for jumping on the AIM podcast.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
You are the one and only Grant McCartney that taught me how to do my first muscle up in Miami.
Dude, that was light work, bro. You didn't even need me. You just had to put it together. You had all the strength. So it was dope that you got it so easy. But yeah, man, you're strong enough to do that.
Dude, it was a lot of fun. That was a really fun event.
That
Wadapalooza,
was
man,
fun, man.
it's epic.
Yeah, good times down there. Miami's wild for sure, but also like just that many fit people in one area. I was like, oof, this is a lot.
No doubt. No, it was super fun, man. It was fun hanging out with you and spend that time. But before we dive into this podcast, man, I got to ask you about the plants behind you. I know you're a big plant guy, so kind of share some of your plant expertise with the audience real quick.
You know, like I'm here in Houston right now, and this is my world, and they're alive. Don't be fooled. These are not fake plants.
They're all real.
They're all real, and they're all thriving behind me. These two monsteras up here were like half that size when I got them. So,
Wow.
if you pick the right species, and I have this big window here that faces the park, so they get good light. That's also important. I can water them once a week, and it's good to go. I moved to Houston here to train for Ninja Warrior, and I miss Hawaii. So what do? I make it as much as I can remember. I even went olive green on the sheets and I'm just
The vibe.
and also the snake plants, the smaller ones. You'll see one over there and one over here in the bottom. Those create oxygen, and then the depending on the size, you can have one of those in your room that creates enough for a human to breathe off of or whatever. So it's kind of this, could add oxygen to the air. I don't know. But if there's all these, like, you can look into the world right now of like humidifiers and detoxifiers and crystals and people doing all this crazy different stuff for their room. Why not just have oxygen from a plant? Yeah. I don't know. No one talks about that. So I was like, I like to see them, but also if there is added oxygen, that's sweet too. But whatever.
Dude, 100%. Like, that's actually a question I was going to ask is people that are really deep into the plant world, like, really swear by like the oxygen, effects that you get from, like, do you feel it, or do you think it's just kind of, you just know that science proves that there's more oxygen in your room now?
It definitely is something that I'm not going in the deep end of, like, whoa, look, I got so much fun. I don't know. One thing you could even argue too is training at high altitude, you're getting less oxygen, and it's forcing your body to adjust. So to come into an oxygen-rich environment could be arguably detrimental if you're trying to like force yourself through the hardship of not having enough oxygen. But two, I train hard at the gym, and then I just come here. This is kind of like, my recovery area. This is where I come to sleep. Notice I don't have a TV. I don't have anything. This is like where I sleep. I think we start to forget that that's what we do in our room. We sleep. And like, if anything else is maybe read, but I don't even, you know what I mean? I like come here to sleep. So that's why I just want to create that kind of space here. And so sleeping with extra oxygen, this is a good idea, but I'm no professional planter, but I do like to see my green walls.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, I think it looks great. I think the vibe, obviously there's the benefits from the oxygen, but I think just being in a place where you feel comfortable, like you said, like, and this segues nicely into kind of your background, but you're no longer in Hawaii. So having still those homey vibes, those kind of bring you back to those moments is really cool. Let's dive right in, man. Let's talk kind of about your upbringing, your background, and kind of how you're, getting to where you are now. Like, I know you've got the background in Hawaii. Like, I'd love to hear more kind of about your early years.
Yeah, man. So I was born and raised in Knoxville, Tennessee, and had a very big family. My dad played football at University of Tennessee and also played professional football well before I was born, though. So like, not like I was like a little kid watching him in the pros. He played back in the like 1800s or something ridiculous. Shout out to my dad, though. What a ledge. And so, I got to cruise. Being young, my mom was also real athletic. She was also an artist. So she was just like painting on our walls of our house, or I come home to the kitchen and there's just like ivy painted all throughout the whole kitchen, or She painted like a mural of a window in our living room that like looked out to a castle that we actually visited as a family. So it was like we were back at that memory, and it was like really cool. And
Wow.
so it was like really cool stuff. She was just kind of like quirky with it. She remember one time, for whatever reason, in one of our projects, she got this big fish head. She would paint on the fish head and then use it as like an impression on t-shirts, like make these colorful fish head, whatever. But she named it Fred and talked about Fred all the time. And Fred just lived in the freezer. And then one morning I woke up to Fred in my bed with me. And I was like, "What the frick, Mom?" She's like, "Fred wanted to sleep with you too." And I was like, "You're a psychopath." But my mom was always super fun like that. And so we, it was good. My parents did get divorced when I was younger, but we had a good time. And then we kind of moved to Atlanta for a little bit and then came back. This was like second grade. And then yeah, my freshman year of high school, my mom got remarried. But I moved to Hawaii when I was 21, my sophomore year of college, or the end of my sophomore year of college. And just needed to get away too. My mom started to struggle with drugs and alcohol when she got remarried, with my stepdad also dealing with the same thing. So I moved to Hawaii and kind of did an exchange program to go to school there, came back to University of Tennessee to graduate and get my degree, finished up in a year, and then moved back to Hawaii. Been there for like the last 10 years before I moved here to Houston.
Dude, that's awesome, man. That's crazy. How did you like your time out there? Like, do you see yourself going back?
I really loved it. I mean, I remember in high school, so I was there, I moved there. I ended up winning a skateboard contest series, which, fun fact, I was like sponsored skateboarder for like 10, 15 years. I won this island-wide contest series, and then the company was like, "Hey, you should just move back and skateboard for us." And then like they knew I had a degree in business, so they were like, "You can also have your own skateboard shop and open it in this other part of the island." And I was like, I'm going to school at University of Tennessee, and they're like, "You got to go to these stupid frickin' whatever the meetings are where they're all in the stadium. You got to, hi, Procter and Gamble. It's good to meet you. I'm Grant. I have great Excel, and I love your job." I'm like, "Dude, I don't want to work at Target. I don't want to work at Walmart or Procter and Gamble. Like, that's what you're telling me I got to do, and I don't want to do it." And I just got this degree, and I'm like, ugh. Now I'm like, "Oh wait, move to Hawaii and start my own skateboard shop. Like, this is everything I wanted." And so it was just a really cool opportunity. Being out there, I did learn some things about, skateboarders are rugged people. We're a gnarly group, and we like what we like. And to get behind selling the things that skateboarders like and have to try to get people to buy more of those things, which, skateboarders, the stuff that sold more were if it had weed, porn, something crazy or gnarly on it, like those sold the best, whether it's shirts or graphics or whatever. And I just couldn't get behind bringing families and kids in to buy those things when I know that those sold to everyone else. And like, so I eventually decided not to do the business side and just skateboard for them. And then that led into working at Hawaiian Airlines, and then I'm traveling and living in Hawaii, and I'm surfing all around the world, and top tier, dude, top tier life. It was awesome. So I definitely could have thought about moving back. It's just way out there. And if I'm going to continue to do some of the work that I do now, Houston's great for flying in and out.
For sure. No, that makes a ton of sense. You touch on travel. I think your experience with the airlines could potentially tap into that. But like, you travel a lot. Like, I feel like it's a big part of who you are. Is that something you've always loved to do, or is this something you've kind of just adopted as you've done more business, or how's that kind of come into play with your life?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that I've come to realize is not that I love travel, it's that I genuinely love people. And I mean that not like some kind of corny way. Like when people, like I was a flight attendant for Hawaiian Airlines, and I technically still am. And I love to go into work to talk to people. And like I'd have 8-9 hour flights up to 11-hour flights, and I'm just talking to people as my job, like making sure people are comfortable, having a good time, serving people. And they'd come back to the galleys and they tell me the gnarliest things. Like people will open up the heaviest life stories. And I love that. I love that. Not because I want to know everyone's deepest, darkest secrets, because I genuinely love people. I want to know and work through hard things with people because that's life to me. And so when someone comes on board and they're drunk and they are, they got drunk because they are trying to fly the mainland, they have to do a custody battle with their wife and they're struggling with it, but they're also not allowed to be drunk on the plane. And I have to like balance that, but hopefully to keep them on board because they're trying, play that game with them versus being like, you're drunk and you're not allowed. And I'm like, dude, I'm with you, man. Let's figure this out, because if you don't tighten up, we got to kick you off. So do you want to stay? Like, I get it. You're in a hard place. Let's talk about it. I love that. I'm cool with that. So I think that that's why I like travel. You go to other places in the world, you get to see people doing life very differently. Even just like, I just got back from Italy. I've never been to Italy before. The way they roll on food is a very easy difference from America. I got in this cycle here where I'm just going and doing it. Sometimes I get food alone, which I grab it and go, I eat in my car or whatever. There is no eating in your car in Italy. All right. That just doesn't happen. There's no eating in 10 minutes. It's a sit down, you read the menu, and it's a appetizer, a first course, a second course, and dessert everywhere I was at. And it's like, plan a couple hours because you're sitting down and you're figuring it out and you're talking it out, and you're hanging out. And I thought, that's a way people do life differently. I like to see how people do life differently. So I like travel for that fact, not just because I'm like, oh, this is different and pretty. That's cool too, but I think that's why I like travel.
I love that, dude. That's super interesting. And I appreciate your heart posture, because when I have interactions in person with you, I genuinely believe that. Like, you do love people. And I think there's so much power in like you said, like not getting into the details of someone's lives, but being able to help someone through a situation, a hard time. That's what life's all about, is like bringing up others and making others feel empowered and serving first beyond, what you're doing personally. I think that's so, so good.
Thanks, man. And I mean, I'm not trying to freaking pat myself on the back or anything. I'm not Superman. Believe me, I get frustrated with people too. And I'm like, all right, guy, I don't want to help you. But like, also if you just realize we're all on this journey thing together, it is nicer. It's a nicer way to approach the world. So I like it.
I do. I love it, man. Do you have any crazy stories from the airlines? Like any one that sticks out? I'm sure you have a bunch. Is there one you want to share that's just wild?
I'm for real. I'm thinking I'll write a book one day. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know legally what I can share.
Right.
I'll say a couple and I can tell them or cannot, depending. Okay. On the heavier end, I've had someone die on my flight, and I gave them CPR for 2.5 hours because you can't pronounce them dead on the flight. And so that was pretty gnarly and pretty traumatic. I've had a couple people die on me that another time off a plane, and it sticks with you a lot. You realize the importance of your trainings and CPR and all this different stuff. But I've also had legit crazy people, like this one guy, I'll never forget. There's 2 people I'll never forget. Well, 3, because this one lady, a short-sized lady comes in. She's got her hair. You know how French braids are braided back, right?
Yeah.
Down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's got them braided from the back forward.
Oh, shoot.
And they're just kind of like dangling like antennas, right? And I'm at the door and I'm new. I mean, I think this is my first flight. And so the way it works in Hawaii, if you come on, you have probation after you do 2 months of unpaid training. And if you fail one test at all, you're out. And it's 3,000 people in Hawaii apply at one time, 80 get chosen. They narrow that down to about 60 that graduate. Wow. So it's a big deal to like do this. And you're like on toes and you're so nervous. And then you finally make it. You get on your first flight. You have 9 months, I think it is, or something, or 6 months of, if you do one single thing wrong, it's over. So I'm just like, I'm all nervous. I'm at the front. I'm my first flight. And hello, welcome. Oh, welcome on board. What's your seat number? Oh, hello, welcome. I'm doing all this crap. This lady rolls on,
oh my gosh.
Antennas out, right? And I'm like, hello, welcome on board, and she just is like real slow in her outfit's just wild. And she just turns and goes, I choose you. And I was like, okay, welcome on board. Aloha, welcome on board. Yeah. Well, and I just thought, you know, and so it never played out super crazy. You couldn't tell. Sometimes people, you know, taking some prescription stuff and whatever. And, you know, I had a lady one time legit pass out into my arms. Not like she's like, oh, and then I like she comes out of the bathroom and I thought she wanted a drink and she was attractive. And I'm just gonna call space. This woman was attractive. And she just goes and falls forward and I just catch her lifeless body and I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I'll set her on the ground and I lower this lady on the ground and she is out because I know she's out. My grandmother taught me you can take your knuckle and you can rub it on somebody's sternum right here. That spot, and believe me, if you crank on that thing and they're faking it, they're gonna wake up. But obviously, it's a woman. I can't go doing it, right? She's got, you know. Anyways, so I'm like, can't do that. Well, you can also lightly rub somebody's eyelashes and they'll flutter if they're awake. If they're not, they won't. So I'm dingle dongle on her little eyelashes. That's creepy enough, I'm sure. But she doesn't wake up. And I'm like, oh, this lady is out cold.
Oh my God.
And so I'm like right over her body and I'm like, is there a nurse? You know, someone, it's the middle of the night on the flight. And like 2 people back waiting for the restroom is a nurse and just comes walking up. And I was like, oh, thank the Lord. Like, you know, freaking hands up. I was like, she fell into me. I don't know what's going on. And the nurse is like, okay, this is what you do. And right about that time, this lady like just opens her eyes and just staring right at me. And I was like, hey, welcome back. You're on the ground. And she's like, you look just like my husband. And I was like thinking to myself, I didn't say this out loud, future husband or like, where are we at here? I mean, and then I was like, this lady's probably married. I need to relax. And so helped her back too. I think she ended up having some alcohol. People don't realize the altitude, and this lady was pretty skinny, and so just fully passed out.
Wow.
So I mean, I've had funny, I've had crazy, I've had some of these stories I have not mentioned because I don't think I legally can, but pretty wild.
Wow. Well, when you write your book and you get the legal thing sorted, we'll have you back on and share more. But I think that's super interesting, man. I want to talk. Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk about you getting into ninja. You are the island ninja. I think 2 things. One, I want to hear kind of how you got into the actual sport of ninja, but also how you came up with the branding side of it too. And those are 2 separate things. So take it away, but I want to hear about that.
So about was it? I've been doing ninja for 7 years, so 8 years ago-ish, I applied to be on American Ninja Warrior. I've had this list of things I've always said I was going to do, and actually, a lot of my family passed away within about a year. It was my mom, my grandmother, my dad's mom, my great grandmother, and my stepdad. And I realized, like, within that year, I was like, dang, like life is super short. Like, you never know what's going to happen. Something can happen to me. So I'm gonna like take on this list of stuff. And, you know, one of the third things on there was American Ninja Warrior. And I joked with my family I was going to do it. And so I applied and I got on and I did really well and it made the national finals. And that I was asked to do other shows that same year. So within like 3 months, I went from doing no television to 3 different television shows. And then like I did again the next year. And then I got to like be on the Ellen DeGeneres show. And then I got to go to German Ninja Warrior in other countries. And then I got to like, it's just this big, you know, spin of different things. And, you know, just coming back from Italy, doing this TV show, which will air in April. And so like these different things have come from, so I kept doing it. But once I was there for year 2, the branding kicks off, right? I have a degree in marketing, international business. So like I'm on the show and I started an Instagram because I just want to see what would happen. And I thought for sure, I'm like, I'm on national television. I'm going to get 1 million followers immediately. It's Instagram. Did not happen like that. I got on and it was just this slow grind over time to get to the following I have now. But it's it was not immediate. And there was some stints of big growth. And I've had tons of viral videos with millions of views, but none of them would really just like create this huge change. And so branding and figuring all that was really important. I changed all my handles to Island Ninja because being in Hawaii, I'm not Hawaiian, so I don't want to be like Hawaiian Ninja. And but I, could definitely embody a lot of island lifestyle stuff. And so Island Ninja fit great. And I changed all my stuff to that. I created Island Ninja as a business. And I started booking gigs through that. So anytime I would be brought up to host something or to do social media for something or to do any of these things, it would just fall under that business. And I would grow that now to like, I have merch and I have all different stuff that we do under that. And islandninja.com where people can see all the stuff I do, or shopislandninja.com where you can buy merch. And just trying to like make it more cohesive when someone thinks like, who are you and what do you do? The marketing side of me is like, I do so many things. I'm into so many things, but like, if I can at least give a little bit of a umbrella over it. So they're like, oh, Island Ninja. Okay. Well, what is Ninja? Okay. That's all these things, but it's like, you do this. And it was just kind of like the branding. You do public speaking, cool. Oh, you do brand deals, okay, cool. Like, and have like a list of stuff that falls in the brands.
That's amazing, dude. I love that. So initially getting into Ninja though, I know it was on your list, you signed up for it, but was there something like, were you watching the show, or was there just something about obviously you're extremely athletic, you're a very athletic individual. Was it, just kind of the skills you had growing up kind of pushed you towards that style of training? Like, what was it exactly that got you into it?
Yeah, I remember watching the Japanese show. That's the original show. It's called Sasuke, and it was on an old TV channel called G4, which is not a thing anymore. And I remember seeing it and going, this is really cool, like obstacles you get to go through. And it seemed like a cool, like big playground. And then one time I saw the Olympian twins, the Han brothers, these American guys were on it. And I was like, wait a second, Americans can do this? Like, I want to do that. And I just stored that away in my brain. I wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm going to go apply. Like, I just stored away in my head, I want to do this one day. And then years later, I just saw that there was an American version, and I joked with my family about it, and they were like, you should apply, and I didn't. And I just kind of had that in my brain. So I just kind of was following through that idea I saw as a kid.
That's amazing. I love it, man. I love it. I want to know kind of, you've had an incredible ninja career up to this point and done some really, really cool things. And I'm sure there's so much more to come, but what are some things like big learnings, and you can take this however you want. It can be physical learnings or just like about yourself. Like, what has it taught you? I know it's a very extreme style of training and lifestyle to be, doing those things. And what are some things that you learned and have applied to other areas of your life?
Yeah, I think, gosh, there's been so many. And I guess I just like it because I'm getting older now that I can share some of these things.
Yeah.
One I just was talking to someone about the other day is success is not like it seems. It's not like you train up for this one big moment and you just do it. Like, sometimes it works that way, but more often it's this repetitive thing that ends up creating success over time. It's not like I trained all this once and then I achieved it and it's done. That doesn't happen as often. It happens every once in a while, but like this new challenge with the world record that I attempted in Italy, which I can't talk too much about, but I'll try to just dance around until the show airs in April. And it's this preparing by doing over and over and over so much that when I got onto the show in Italy, I'm not like, okay, this is the big moment. This is that. Like, I just walked up like it's another round. It's another rep. It's another go. And I think that that's how a lot of great athletes are mentally. Matt Frazier, when he steps under a barbell, he's not like, oh my gosh, am I going to hit this lift? What am I going to do? It's just another day, another barbell. And that creates success over time. Repetitive doing the same thing and getting better slowly over time creates a readiness for success that I don't think success is depicted that way. It's more like you work and you grind and you do, and then you succeed. And it's like, no, sometimes I've worked really, really hard and then failed. And I've been like, what? I worked so hard. Why did I fail? And it's like, well, sometimes it's not about whether you succeed or fail. It's that growing and repetitive work that creates a rhythm that allows for more opportunity for success than failure. So once you get that going, then you just keep at it until the success comes, other than like it's just going to happen on the one time, the one go. So I just hope that encourages people who feel like they're working really hard and not succeeding, whatever your success is indicated as, because you've got to, and you'll see little successes. Maybe your PRs got higher, slow and slower, but then you find yourself in a year down the road, everything's different. It's all changed. And then there's a higher level of success able to happen when you're continually in that space. So that was just one thing from the other day that I realized is going on. Like, it's, you know, instead of just going, I grind because I'm going to succeed. It's like, sometimes you grind and don't succeed, but you keep on keeping on because you're upping the total percentage of success that could happen. And versus like that one moment. But there's tons of stuff, man. There's tons of different, depending on what, you know, spiritually or what physically I've learned, or or how to even emotionally handle ups and downs. I'm in the process of learning how to, one thing for me, it's big, is my faith, that I believe that God loves me and that he'll never leave me or forsake me. But like, I've learned that to be true because of these hardships I've been through, the worst moments in life. Like when my mom tried to commit suicide and I found her, like I felt like the Lord was still really close to me, and I could talk to him, and it was like he was just right there with me. And it was easy, and that's what I learned. It's easy once you understand the construct of that God loves you and that he can be close in those moments. What's gnarly right now is things are very good in my life. And I mean, very good. I'm very happy. I look at my plants, dude. I mean, freaking take a look around. I'm living a good life. And it's not as easy to be as close to the Lord. Now, I'm learning to go, man, today's amazing. Thank you, Lord. Not just like, man, today's amazing. All right, what else am I going to do? What is my next thing I want to do? So I'm learning to be close and understand that God is just as good in pain and suffering as in wonderful, great blessing. So that's the new learning space spiritually that has been very challenging. You would think like, oh, it's easy to see God's goodness and a blessing, but it's been for me easier to see how good he is in traumatic times.
Dude, I can relate to that honestly a lot, you know, and resonate with, you know, that whole heart posture. Like, dude, when things are good, it's sometimes hard to see it. And I think one thing I have to catch myself doing is, as you have successes or things start to open up, like I don't want to ever get in the mindset of it's from my doing. Like, it's all God providing the blessing, the opportunity. And he's obviously called us to work hard. He's called us to pursue our passions, the things that he's put on our heart. But at the end of the day, like you said, like it all comes from him. That's good, man. I appreciate you sharing that, because that's something that's, you wouldn't necessarily think about it like that. It's like you get in those moments, like you would think, oh, it'd be easy to praise God during the good times, but then you get in the good times, it's like, wow, this actually, you know, I've got to keep my priorities straight. I can't let a blessing turn into an idol, you know, something he's given me for good to help me. And now it becomes something that actually takes away from my relationship with the Lord, which is obviously not ideal. So that's good stuff.
It's challenging, man. I mean, when you need something, it's easy to ask the Lord for it. And then when he provides it or not, you're like, okay, I did it. But like, it's weird. In a good place in life, you almost try to take care of your own needs yourself. You don't ask for them from him. If my finances are doing well, which I feel good about now, I don't ask him for provision. I don't ask him for anything even over what it is. Like, maybe there's no limit on what he can bless me with too. There's nothing to say that I shouldn't ask for even more financial provision right now so that I can do more for more people, but I don't ask for that. And if he says it's better to give than receive, then what am I doing not giving? I'm just going, life's good right now. I got money, things are good, I'm just good. And it's like, well, no, why is it not asking for more to give more, or show more opportunities to give what I do have, or, and you got to be there mentally. And that's different when things are good, because when things aren't good, it's easy to see, Lord, I need this, so I ask for something, or whatever that might be. Because I think we still give even in hardship, but for some reason my heart's easier to give when I don't have. I'm like, oh, I don't have, so I'm like, well, okay, well, I don't have, but I need anyway, so I might as well ask the Lord for it, and here you can have this. And versus like, oh, I have now, and I'm like, it's like I don't like let him have part of what it is that he gave me anyway. So yeah, I don't know, it's challenging, man. I don't have it figured out yet. I'm working on that'll be podcast part 2.
Let's go. We'll be praying for that. I'll be praying for you, and I think that's good stuff, man. I want to kind of shift gears a little bit and talk about some future plans you have. I know you've got a lot of awesome things going on with brands, with what you're doing from a fitness standpoint. But do you have any big goals or things you're trying to accomplish in the future that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I mean, just coming off of a big world record, which I can't say whether I got it or didn't get it, but that was a big deal. This is actually the bar right here that I used. Elite material right here, carbon fiber. I've got it wrapped and indicators in the middle, because I'm holding the bar with a mixed grip, and I'm jumping this thing 4 feet and landing it on these 8x8-inch little lily pads. And you're doing the most consecutive hops with a bar as a male, and going for a Guinness World Record on a show in Italy. So that was been a lot of training towards that. And the next big one I want to go for is this deadlift 500 pounds, run sub 5-minute mile. And you got to do them all at the same time. So you like start your time as soon as you start your deadlift on the track, drop it and take off running. So I'm thinking about giving that a go. But I have been putting in a lot of work for this one. And I don't want to just rush right into something else. Like, I know it's healthy for me to have a goal, but also this is a good time to kind of just take a breather, maybe celebrate, maybe, just not always be like, I got to be doing the next thing. So I do have that coming, and I do have some fun brand deal stuff with like RPM's got a new home gym stuff they just sent me, and I've decked out my whole garage gym. That edit will go up on my YouTube here by next week, and people can see what I built at the house. And if you are on Adam's website too and doing the workouts with us, you'll see me like on screen having fun. And I have an app coming out soon where people can train and do stuff. So I got a lot of fun stuff coming ahead. And but the goals, I may be going for that deadlift 5, run sub 5, but I'm always looking for new challenges. If you heard anything out and about, you would come up my alley, or anything you think I should try?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the 500-pound deadlift sub 5 mile is awesome. We had Michael on the show, Michael Maraglia, a couple weeks ago, and he was sharing that. Yeah. And I know Ryan Hall's attempted it. You guys, and I didn't even mention this, it's been cool to talk to all the different 10,000 guys, because y'all are so cool and so different, but yet have so many similarities. Like, I think you should definitely crush that one. I think you'd do it.
Yeah, I definitely want to give that one a try. It's tough when you see someone like Ryan Hall, who has like the world record for American marathon, not make it. And you're like, oh gosh, I've never even deadlifted 500 pounds. So I did a month of training just to see where I'd be at, and I got 475. So I'm not far off.
You're there.
I mean, it's like, whew, that's a heavy move.
No doubt. There's another guy. I think Nick Simmons is training for it.
Oh, okay.
I think that's his name. But I've seen it. I think it's become a more popular challenge, and I know as of right now, only Michael's the only one who's completed it successfully, correct?
I know Michael's done it. Hunter McIntyre said he did it back in the day before anyone did it. Okay. I don't know. But I'm sure Hunter's able to. He's a fast runner and can lift heavy, so I wouldn't doubt he could do it. But yeah, I mean, I haven't heard of many people ever doing it. I think obviously Adam Klink did the squat 500. Run sub 5, but later on in the day.
Same day, not same time, yeah.
But squatting 500? Holy smokes, bro.
Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah, so I don't know. I even talked to Nick Bear about it, seeing if he would maybe want to sample it, but I think he's big in his long distance stuff right now. So I may go up. They're in Austin, so I may roll up there, because Adam's also on 10,000. He's working with Nick. So we may do something. I don't know where I'm going to do the attempt or not. And like we are, I'm going to, of course, do a big to do of it all. So maybe we'll do it up there at Nick's Bear Performance stuff. So we'll see.
Dude, that would be epic. Let me know, man. I'd love to promote that.
Yeah, we'll see. I got to give it a good go. I've also learned a lot about lifting, and there's a lot that needs to change in my technique, and I might just need to hit a month or a couple months of just learning technique, getting more flexible instead of just going, I'm gonna just put on strength. Like maybe I need to take a little period of learning,
100%. You mentioned RPM. You just did a really cool video with them where you were on the skateboard and a jump rope. Talk a little bit about
Yeah.
that as we wrap this thing up.
Yeah, I just have all kinds of weird stuff I'm always trying. And of course, skateboarding for so long. I'm in there doing a photo shoot and they're like, well, what do you want to do? And there's a skateboard sitting there. I was like, can we involve that? And they were like, oh yeah, what are you thinking? So I learned to do a double under, like ollie double under. And I did it with like 3 tries in. And I was like, I've never seen someone skateboard and do a double under. And I did it. And I was like, everyone's all hyped and stoked. And I was like, dude, I was like, I'm gonna try to kickflip. And I tried a couple of kickflips and didn't really land it. But I was like, double under, let's put it online. And, it got a lot of views online. People were all stoked. And then the next day, my homie in Hawaii sends me a video of him kickflipping. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it's on. And we just started going back and forth. So once he did the kickflip, I was like, I need to do a 360 flip. And I have 360 flips really good. It's like where the board does a 360 spin and a rotation the other way. And so I'm like, all right, I must have tried 350 times. I mean, I just sat there trying. And then when I finally landed, I was like, I was like, is that it? Did I do it? Or sure? Like, and so I got the super double under. And we may continue on this battle. I've got some other tricks in my mind now. I might try a double kickflip, double under. But just keep the fun going on the internet, challenges. So if you guys see challenges online, whatever they may be, shoot them over, DM to me. I love trying them. So
I was about to say, I think you actually accidentally started a whole chat, like a whole section of fitness, like the skateboard jump roping scene.
That's the thing is like I've put challenges up online before that did great and did horrible. And I remember my first one I'll never forget because I thought of this idea when I was in Sydney, and I was at a playground and I was working out and I pushed the swing and I jumped through the middle. And then I realized like, oh, I can push through the middle. I can drop to the ground and do a push up, jump up, and then jump through the middle again as the swing in, right? And it was like this burpee while the swing comes through. Swing set burpees is like, oh, it's gonna hit the internet, it's gonna crush, right? I post this video and it gets like 0 views. And I mean, no views. And this is back before I had any following. And I was like, this is such a good idea and a good challenge. Like, what the heck? And it was about 2 months later, I see this video pop up on my feed, and it's people doing the swing set burpee and just eating crap. And I mean, just face planting, and it's got millions of views. And I was like, what? How did this go famous without me? I thought of this. And I realized like my friend, she posted, she had a big account and she put it out, and then someone from her, and then so forth. And then what got famous was people failing it, like clipping their legs and like eating crap. But I just thought, you never know what when you put on the internet is going to reach people or not. But hopefully my whole MO on social media is, my mission statement is to build others up. If it's building others up, I'm going to put it up there. And if not, then I don't want to. I hope I hit the mark on that. I hope I don't miss that sometimes. But like, again, me just putting stuff up that hopefully does that. So challenges, like, hope people try them. I hope they challenge themselves and get excited. But that's what I hope to do, at least.
I love it, dude. You definitely do it. I think you do a great job of it, seeing it from afar, and even getting a chance to spend some time with you. You definitely build others up. You help them build up to their muscle up, and you help them build up in life, man. So
let's go.
Really appreciate you, man. Grant, this has been an epic episode, dude. You're a legend, and I really appreciate you and your plants for hopping on this episode.
If y'all need any gardening tips and tricks, check me out on Instagram. I don't even think I put these beautiful plants on Instagram yet. The world needs to know, but I appreciate you having me on, man. I hope y'all are doing well, and I can't wait to the next outing. What are we gonna do next? What is it? CrossFit Games? What's our next meetup?
Let's hit the games for sure, man. We might need to do something before then, though. That's not till the summer.
Yeah, you're right. We got some time, so just let me know, bro.
Let's set something up, man. Thank you so much, Grant.
All right, you guys. Aloha.